Good morning, folks. Hope everyone is doing well today. Welcome to Logos and Machine, where UIW explores AI, education, and the human future. I'm Taylor Collins, and with me is my co-host, Dustin Hardwick. And over the next few minutes, we want to tell you a little bit about what this show is, who it's for, and why we're planning to spend the next several years thinking out loud with you about what may turn out to be the most consequential technology any of us have lived through. So really quick background on both of us. I am a professor of economics at University of Incarnate Word. My research has lied in macroeconomics, energy economics, and more recently, the economics of artificial intelligence. I met Dustin as a fellow in UIW's AI Fellowship for Teaching and Learning, where the university brought together a cross-section of experts in different disciplines to try to figure out what this technology was doing to education, how it's influencing our students, how it's influencing our professors, and the best way to make sure that UIW maintained the best learning experience possible. In the course of that experience, we realized pretty quickly that the questions of AI expanded very far beyond just simple education and into broader society as a whole. And that's where Logos and Machine came from, is an attempt to expand our conversation beyond the education sphere into broader society. So with that introduction and goal in mind, I want to hand it over to Dustin for a little introduction about who Logos and Machine is.
Thanks, Taylor. My name is Dustin Hardwick. I'm a physical therapist and an associate professor in the School of Rehabilitation Sciences. As Taylor mentioned, I'm also one of the AI fellows here at UIW. My own research is focused on ethics in healthcare and more recently, the intersection of AI and ethics. So with that said, what is Logos and Machine? This is a podcast about artificial intelligence and how it intersects with society and community. I want to be very clear about the scope here. This is not a podcast about the technology itself. We're not going to discuss the latest model, benchmarks of the newest models and how they compare to one another. We're not going to talk about new product launches. There are plenty of podcasts out there that let you follow the technology itself. What we're interested in is what happens when this technology meets actual human lives. It's going to reshape work. It's going to reshape education. It's going to reshape healthcare. And how do we make decisions around these topics now that artificial intelligence is here? So I hope that we bring something valuable to everyone out there, really not just what is a technology, but how is it going to impact every facet of our life in the next 5 years, maybe 5 months, and the next 10 years. So what's the format for Logos and Machine? Some episodes, it's going to be Taylor and I having a conversation about a topic, each bringing our own expertise, our own unique perspective into that intersection of AI and community. Other episodes, we'll bring in people from our community. We'll bring in students to talk about a project they're working on, or talk about how they use AI to navigate the modern learning environment. We may bring in other faculty, talk about how they're using AI in their courses, in their own research, and want to bring in thought leaders from the community so they can talk about how AI is shaping their own business or their own government structure. And the last thing that's going to be here is going to be the AI Confluence series. The AI Confluence series is a cross-campus collaboration between UIW and St. Mary's and Our Lady of the Lake universities, bringing together faculty and thought leaders from each of the universities to talk about how AI is reshaping education, how we're using it to deliver education, and how those things are going to shape our students as they go out into a new workforce. The workforce is going to be different in the post-AI world, and this Confluence series and this podcast is going to explore those topics. Now I'm going to turn it back over to Taylor to talk a little bit more about the why, a little bit more about our ethos here on the channel.
Yeah, thanks, Dustin. I appreciate it. So I think Dustin introduced it well, that one thing we very deeply share is the belief that this technology has the potential to upend basically every corner of our economic social systems. People need to understand that these are very, very early days of what artificial intelligence is and what it's going to become. And as it keeps becoming more and more powerful, it's going to keep creeping into more areas that folks may not be ready for. And while we both see that incredible potential with some sense of optimism that it might unlock untold opportunity and untold growth, we also share the concern that incentives that exist within our social systems might not push the technology in a direction that's necessarily in the best interest of everyone. And it's in that light that we wanted to bring this series into being. We wanted to make sure to put a voice into the conversation that is very intentional about keeping the human at the center of the conversation of artificial intelligence. As can be the case with any technology, it can be used for unbelievable good or unbelievable harm. And the more and more this gets concentrated into the hands of a few people who don't have the same interest as the rest of us, it creates an opportunity for a lot of people to end up on the poor end of this particular revolution. So we're just here to try to add a voice in the conversation that says, whatever we do, wherever we go, however this develops, it needs to be human first, right? It needs to be something that upholds and supports humanity along the way. We're excited for that opportunity. We are very much understanding that this is an unsettled question, so we don't pretend to have all of the answers. I think anyone who tells you that they do is maybe someone you don't want to trust with how quickly this is changing. We're all going to be figuring this out in real time. But what we promise you here is that we'll do that with you, together, out loud. We're going to try to figure out this technology just the same way that you are. So we do a promise that as we go through that journey, we're going to approach this exercise with diligence, with curiosity, and with the deepest commitment possible to upholding those things that make us most human. That is the very intention for the title of the show. Logos, as an ancient Greek word, is referencing word, reason, account. It is the rational structure of things, right? Logos is one of the oldest names in our intellectual tradition for what it is that sets human beings apart. It is our capacity to reason, to seek truth, to ask what things are for. Machine is the other pole. Right? Machine is the artifact. Machine is the system. Machine is the thing we have built. The name logos and machine is an allusion to the question that we are going to have to figure out together whether or not this technology is something that amplifies, expands, and supports our deepest human virtues, or something that we allowed to crowd those things out. Right? Is this going to be technology that builds new community, new connection, new sense of purpose? Or is it going to be something that supplants it in favor of a worse alternative? That's the conversation that we're inviting you to. And it's one that we very sincerely hope you're going to join us for. So if you would like to come along with us on that journey, please like and subscribe. New episodes are coming soon. And as Dustin said, we've already got a few things preloaded on the channel for you. We do know that your time is your most valuable resource. So we are very grateful that you chose to spend some of it with us here today. We thank you for your engagement and we look forward to speaking with you again soon. Y'all take care.